For a while, I've been thinking of getting rid of Arch as my, main Linux distro and moving over to Fedora permanently. I am that type of guy, actually. Fedora does do better in terms of gaming without having to modify really anything, and also in terms of video editing. I do use DaVinci's Resolve Studio Pro, and I think it's probably going to be pretty cool to do. So, first off, let's jump into making a USB. And I don't want to have to use this horrible program that they have here, but, as long as it does UEFI, I'll go for it. I'll do it. To install it? For real? Don't have to install Rufus. Come on, guys. All right. So I already have a custom image downloaded, so I'm going to go grab that. Yeah, there we go. I grabbed it. See? All right. Is there any options? Anything at all? Okay, let's just write to disk. Is it doing it? You see, this is why I don't like Fedora Writer, because it just says writing. It doesn't say that it's formatting. It doesn't show your progress. And there's the progress. Thank you. All right. Look how fast it's going. This is a very fast USB drive. Not my fastest, but one of my fastest, and I do enjoy it. So you're not going to probably get to witness the install of the Fedora, but you will witness the setup of the Fedora when we get to my desktop. So yes, that's the important part, really. I will have to set up OBS, but that's all I'll do. I'll just go grab OBS, and we'll do that. Unless I have to set up the drivers too, because I'm not using AMD, I'm on NVIDIA. So I will also have to install the drivers and reboot. Okay? But we'll go over how I installed the drivers if you guys are wondering how you do that on Fedora. So it's checking the written data. Great, the most useless part. I know I sound like a cynic here. It's just that I want to get to the installation. I don't want to have to wait for this thing. By the way, that took a very short amount of time to write that to the USB. Most people, they'll find the cheapest USB imaginable and ask themselves, why is it so slow? And they don't realize it's just because you bought the slowest thing on the planet. This cost me $32 originally. And the reason I got it is because it had a read and write speed of up to almost 300 megabytes a second. That was well worth it, because if I'm going to be writing ISOs that are over 5 gigs to, mind you, 10 gigs, okay, I need something that's fast, something that's lightning fast, something that's got demon speed, so you can catch a chicken really fast. By the way, if you got that reference, I love you. Remember that. I'm going to be cutting back, by the way, on the emulator stuff. I just don't feel like it's worth it really much anymore, but I will do it when PRs come out. You'll see a video that says the PR's name and the number, and it'll be showing whether the PR is working or not. I'm going to probably just switch to that, go back to Unreal Engine 4, and find a way to just continue doing that stuff. This is just a pre-warning if any of you guys decide to watch this video. It's just, no. Like, I got fucking dislike bots again, all because of a bunch of Yuzu clowns. Yeah, I have literally where they live. They don't watch the video, they just dislike the video. Clowns are clowns to be clowns, yo. Alright, so I'm going to go install this, and we'll continue off on the Fedora desktop after I install my NVIDIA drivers. I'll be right back. I promise. Okay, so we're back. We're on Fedora. As I said, the only thing I was going to install was OBS Studio, which we're currently using. And then we would get to work setting this thing up. I did install Discord, and you can grab that through the RPM Fusion repo, which is actually really easy to go install. So I kind of got to show you that. So to install the NVIDIA drivers from the RPM Fusion repo, first you have to install RPM Fusion, right? So you search RPM Fusion, And basically you just go here, you go to configuration, and you download 32 and 32 because that's the current thing you're using. You're going to want both non-free and free to get started because they both offer different things. Non-free offers proprietary drivers for NVIDIA, which is what you want. Next thing you're going to want to do is to go adjust your mirrors. This is very important. So you're going to want to do this. Basically sudo dnf config dash manager space dash dash set opt equals fastest mirror equals true dash dash save. You could also echo that into the conf if you want as sudo, and then you're going to want to do sudo dnf make cache dash dash refresh. These things are very important to get the best speeds out of your mirrors because you don't want to be downloading at kilobytes a second. That is absolutely annoying and that bugs the hell out of me. Alright, so the next thing I did was I installed a custom kernel by Glorious Eggroll. That's done by doing sudo dnf corp enable Glorious Eggroll / kernel. Now that needs a sudo at the beginning of it to even make that happen, and then you're going to want to pretty much do a sudo dnf update dash dash refresh and a sudo dnf distro sync. Doing this will prevent any damage to the distro and make sure that everything works. Yay, that's great. And you're able to select the old kernel and the new kernel, of course, from grub. I didn't show you that, I apologize. But yeah, now that that's done, I guess we can get started on what we actually want to do. And what I actually want to do is, that's pretty sad that that closes. Wow. Firefox sucks. I just want to go and start getting Gnome set up. Now, I've had questions in the past of why I use Gnome. I have a lot of reasons of why I use Gnome. And they mainly consist of it's what I know, and it's what I know that works the best. Most AMD users will use KDE. I can't stand KDE personally, and I don't think I ever will be able to stand KDE. Let's go over what I'm choosing here. So user themes is so you can load custom themes. Caffeine will disable the ability for the OS to shut down, go to sleep, things like that. It's important. You could also choose game mode if you want. I never do. Open weather to tell me about my weather. Next, I'm going to search dash to dock because a good dock leads to good workflow. And there it is, dash to dock. And I just realized which wire I'm hitting that I'm scared to hit, and I moved it, so we're good. Remove arrow because I don't like drop down arrows. And I want Gnome transparency panel for the reason because I want a transparent panel up top, right, to match with the transparent panel on the bottom, which is actually the dash to dock, dock. Yay. Sound is very important to me. It allows me to choose my device because right now this is all I have, and this is horrible looking. Okay, I usually choose blur, but blur is kind of broken right now, and I don't want to use something that's broken. So there's that. And we need our frippity clock. Why? Because I want you over here where I'm used to you being. We're going to want something to monitor our CPU temperature, so that would be Freon. We're also going to want something to adjust our CPU clocks, which would be CPU frequency. And I know all this looks like a lot, but trust me, it's not. Now, for CPU frequency to even work, we're going to need to go to terminal and do sudo dnf install and lm. Wow. Sometimes I hate my keyboard, other times I love it. Sensors. Now, I'm not sure if the sensors come pre-installed. They obviously don't, so we're going to install those. If we do not install these, we're not going to see our temperatures. So, let's go and turn all this stuff on. Just like this, one by one. And install. And rip drop-down arrows. Transparent Gnome panels on. See how much better that looks? Sound device output now looks like it should. This should be default in Gnome. I'm sorry, Gnome developers, but you do a lot of stupid shit. Make this default, because I like to see which devices I'm using. Next, the frippity clock. Watch it move from there to there. That looks more professional. Next, we have Freon, which is going to pop up right here and show us our temperatures. I currently have a glitch on my SSD, the Kingston one I'm using. It shows the temperature as 91C. I've actually done internal temperature testing on the device itself. Its minimum is about 22, and its maximum is about 50, so that's BS. You want to undo that. As for temperature-wise, I tend to choose one of these two. Because they're both the same temperature, they actually tell what's going on with your CPU, so I end up choosing this one. You're going to want to undo your average, go to sensor settings if you have NVIDIA, and choose it. Also, move this down to 1 because you want to know what's happening, right? And that way you can check, you can have both your GPU and your CPU temperature side by side. This is CPU frequency, it's system monitor and power management. It is very good for Ryzen because Ryzen needs a lot of stuff. So as you can see, I'm at 4.5 gigahertz and I need to install something, right? So let's install it twice. So it shows your CPU cores and threads. It shows your motherboard. It shows what kernel you're running and your distro. There's my CPU name. It also gives you control over balanced, high performance, power saving, and more. I usually keep frequency boost off just to keep the lowest temperatures possible. And the last thing I'm going to install is, of course, the user themes because we need our thing to look sexy. So I'm going to go to Mojave Gnome theme. And I totally didn't spell that right, but considering this is Google, well, Google knows me, right? Google understands me. Google knows that I want the Gnome theme. And in fact, we're going to go to here because I want to install it all. I do use both the light and dark theme. And, well, if it tells us to install something for Fedora, we of course have to go oblige. We will be customizing things in a second now that I got all that installed. I actually missed one, which is Arc Menu, and that's installed. Great. Now, you may notice when I try to move over here, the dash dock gets stuck in the way. I always move it down to the bottom, which we're about to do. Now, I need my Arc Menu. It is honestly the most important one for me. There we go. Arc Menu is now installed. We're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost done. All right, so all this is installed. I'm going to install more of it because it's needed. And hit yes. Now, we are going to need to install Git because I don't believe any of this installed Git. I don't remember if Git actually comes with this. But I will check. Let's actually check this. Ready? So copy the address, do git clone, and paste that in. So Git does come with this. This is great. We also are going to install something else. I think it's called Base Devil. No, I'm thinking of something else then. All right, so it wants us to do install.sh. So we're going to copy this. Right, we're going to go back and grab U, and we're going to just do chmod plus X. I'm going to paste you in. And the reason why we're doing this is, oh, right, I forgot to go and CD into the thing. Mojave theme and chmod. We want to give it permission to execute, okay? Because it doesn't always execute. It's going to build, it's going to install, and there we go. So the next thing I have to grab is what's called the, what do you call it? It's called the Numix circle theme. Numix circle. This is an icon set. It is very iconic. I'm not even joking. What is sudo emerge? What distro is this? What is this? Gentoo? Who supports Gentoo? That's for pregnant teens. All right, so the circle theme is installed, but we're not done yet. I like having blue folders, okay? Don't judge me. I like having blue folders. All right, so we're going to download this. We're going to open that up, right? And I'm actually going to put this on my other screen because things are getting in the way. We're building up a lot of stuff, and you just search files, and we're going to make a new folder. dot icons. We're going to hit Control H to show this. And of course, we're going to go in and just drag that in there. So what I dragged in was this. So you can tell that this is the main folder. And we're closing down our browser. Goodbye. Good riddance to garbage. So now we need to install something else. I know what you're thinking. That's a lot of stuff to install. We're moving very quickly, so technically not. We're at 11 minutes. We're actually almost done. So you want Gnome tweak tool. And it's going to go from here, install that, and done. So we're going to search tweak. All right. You will want to add it to your bar because you're going to be using it a lot. First, let's go over to appearance. Right now, I want to set this as dark mode. And I want to set my shell as dark mode as well. There we go. Nice and fancy, nice and clean. It looks great, okay? Next, I want to go set my icons to circ to this. Look at that. It's nice and clean now. You see that? Not bad, huh? We're going to go over to extensions. I'm going to go into Arc menu first because I want to modify hot corners because I hate them, so they're going to just be disabled. And next, I want to go to dash to dock because we need to put the dock on the bottom. And we also need to limit its size to 32. Go to appearance, and we need to set to shrink the dash, which is always great. And to fixed, and I'm going to just go right about there. Into launchers, I really don't like any of this. I want it as clean as I can get it, right? That's what's important. So that's done. Next, we want to go to open weather. Now, the reason being is if you're going to add this, you've got to add in your own weather. So hit the plus button, you type where you are, you select where you are, you hit save. We go to units because we are not barbarians. We use Celsius. And then we get rid of the top one. So that's my actual temperature right now. It's 23 outside. There is a very high chance of humidity. It's 82%. So that 23 actually feels like 29 right now, and it's actually starting to get to me. I have the air conditioner off for you guys because I don't want to, cause you too much noise in this video. And we're going to turn this on because really, we're not animals. We need to minimize, to maximize, and to exit, okay? And that's it. That's it. Here we are. Here we are at the end. And all I need to do now is to add this to favorites, and we can start adding our stuff. Ooh, that's Rhythm Box. I actually do really enjoy that this comes with Rhythm Box. It makes me really happy. So, what about everything else, you're probably asking? Well, let's go over that, shall we? So, I want the terminal to be permanently here. I like the terminal. We're going to install Lutris, okay? That's 866 megabytes. Jesus, what are they doing? That's crazy to be that big. I mean, you'd figure that, dependency hell would be a problem, but no, here they are. They're offering everything that you need and more. Kind of cool, actually. So the fastest mirrors, as you can see, I'm actually getting somewhat moderately good speeds. It's not the best, but it works. And it's going to install the Wine Core, of course. I don't know if the Wine Core is out of date, but it's Wine Core 5, so I don't know. That's not really that out of date. And everything's going to install super quick because SSD. And our move to Fedora from Arch has been technically successful. So we just got to install the rest of our applications. Steam, CMake, I think GCC is probably already installed. SDL2, OpenAL. I don't know. Those aren't, no, it's already installed. No argument for SDL2. What about CMake? Are you installed? No, you're not. I do compile quite a bit of stuff, so I want CMake to be there. And really, I think that's about it, unless I can do one more thing. We're going to try out that one more thing. Are you ready? I don't like using Vim. I'll use Nano if I have to, but I like to edit files with gedit. And I'm probably going to do that right now in front of you guys, but this has got to install first. Or does it? Tabs. I love tabs. Did my computer just freeze? It did. Wow. This is a thing? This is not a thing. Okay. All right, so we're good to go. That's it. Whoa, that conked out. As you can see, we have everything I need. It's completely set up like you guys are used to me having my desktop, except for the background. I'll probably find something pretty funky later. Let's see, is Steam installed? Yep, Steam is installed, so we're gonna add that to our favorites as well. I don't like using Lutris. Once I found out how big of an asshole those guys are, I don't like using it, but there's not really an alternative that I want to use. So there's that. And really, I think that would be it besides setting up high-end audio. So let's finish this, shall we? Chrome. Download now. Download now. 64-bit RPM. Open with software. And now comes my favorite part. Not installing Chrome. No. It's never about installing Chrome. It's always about doing sudo dnf remove Firefox. Favorite part of installing any distro is getting rid of garbage. I don't like RAM hogs and I don't like broken ass applications. Firefox used to be good back in the year 2000, but these days it's utter trash. Okay, I'm sorry if that offends you. Don't be so fragile. Okay, that's done. What else? There was one other thing that I needed to do that I needed to show you, but I can't remember. I got Steam. I got all of that installed. This is already an 18-minute video, and I don't want to make it any longer for you guys. So I guess I won't. Thank you guys for watching. Go try out Fedora in a VM. Tell me what you think about it after you've done that. I know there's a lot of issues around Fedora for most Linux users, and I don't really understand where any of that comes from. So there's that. Thank you guys for watching, though. If you did, hit that like button. I really do appreciate it, and, you know, YouTube might not screw me over so much. Linux is very important to me, and I'm definitely going to be doing more videos on it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.